Ham boobs. Whatever.
Hey! And we're back. Another episode of Life of Pi. We are continuing our journey through Yellowstone, Season 5. And tonight we're talking about episode number 3. Your host, Pion, what up? And as always, joining me for this Yellowstone journey is my guest co-host, Mr. Who's Your Daddy Cheeks.
Who's your daddy?
So, Season 3. Episode 3. Yeah, we're on it tonight. Starts off. I mean, it's an intense one. The last 10 minutes or so are pretty.
The last probably 5-10 minutes make the entire episode, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, but we'll start from the beginning. So we have like a throwback scene. It was like John, Rip. I'm assuming Lloyd, and then I forget John's oldest son. I always forget his name. Is it Lee?
Lee. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So there's like 4 of them riding horseback, and all of a sudden they're finding out they're basically on horseback, and they come across like dead cattle, and we see there's like mutilated, like Rip finds like a mutilated baby cow and a big cow, and so we find out that wolves are basically on the property. They're not supposed to be.
Yep.
And so I keep forgetting to write down the actor's name who plays young John Dutton, but he's been in a bunch of stuff and he's an awesome actor.
Yes.
I forget what his name is, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. So we're gonna Google this real quick. But so we figure out that there's like a wolf attack in the cow. They're not supposed to because they were just released. And then like our next scene that we see is
Josh Lucas.
That's his name. So he's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, Josh Lucas, shout out to him. He's awesome. So with the city council meeting, it's kind of like
it's like a town hall meeting.
Yeah, it's basically we have a town hall meeting. You can kind of run the good folks through that. So
the town's kind of, I don't want to call it split because it didn't feel very split, but it was, they're all upset that the wolves were introduced. They're taken from the park or put to the park, and the people in the area aren't very happy about that. And obviously John comes in while this entire meeting's well underway and kind of strolls around the entire side of the entire town hall there. And you start to notice that you can tell that the people in the crowd aren't very happy. And, as obviously he's the livestock commissioner at that point, and you see that he's just sits down, and the guy next to him's like, this can't actually happen. He's like, well, believe it or not, it's actually happening. The wolves are attacking the cattle, attacking the livestock, attacking the animals. And, could you imagine losing not just one or two, but, multiple livestock?
Like how much do one of those usually amount to dollars wise? It's probably each one's probably a good amount of money.
Well, look at it this way, right? If you want to get a steer today, baseline steer, right? And you're probably looking minimum of $8,000 per. Yes, and that's at calf. That's not full grown.
Yeah.
Like show steers, I've seen show steers go, upwards of $500,000, which is outrageous for any sort of livestock. I don't know how you make your money. You got to win state and national shows, and
I imagine some of these guys are losing.
But they're losing
multiple ones. That's hundreds of
potential money. Now, granted, they're raising them for slaughter, right? They're raising them for the meat, not for show.
You still make money off of that, though.
Yeah, you still need to make. You can make a lot of money off of it. If you buy, let's even say, you spend $1,000 on a steer, on a calf.
Mm-hmm.
If you sell it, you can make tenfold that.
Yeah. So
obviously, people aren't very happy. What if all of a sudden you lost $30,000? Would you be happy?
Oh, I'd be so thrilled.
Yeah, I think we'd all be pissed. So you see, that the wolves are actually a much bigger problem than the city council really wants to believe. But John kind of lets in hey, this is actually a big problem. We need to do something about it.
Yeah, and then they kind of go to the city council, basically the chambers. And the guy's like, listen here, John. And John Dutton has this great line. He goes, You don't know me well enough to call me John. He goes, you call me Commissioner Dutton. And if the livestock commission isn't on my front door with a checkbook the next 48 hours, you're gonna get to know me really well.
Yep.
It's just that those like those 2.5, 3 sentences are just such a great way. Just like, you know, that's how he is. Even now, it's good to see he's been basically like, I'm not gonna take your shit at all. He's been like that his entire life, pretty much.
Yep.
And so the next thing we see is basically like Beth's up early in the morning, and she's getting ready to head to Salt Lake City, and Rip's like, you're up early, like what's going on? And she's like, loose ends. So we don't really know what it is per se until like later in the episode, and that's what kind of gets the ball rolling with probably multiple other storylines that are going to come about later in the series. Because I feel like with the way this episode shook out, like 3 or 4 new problems have been caused, which is going to lead to an explosive episode here in the next, I would say, probably 4 or 5. Shit's going to start hitting the fan.
Oh, I think it's going to be sooner than that.
The next episode's 4. So.
Yeah, so in 4 or 5 episodes would be episode 8 or 9.
No, I'm saying in like, did I say 4 or 5 episodes? Or,
yeah.
Oh, I meant in episode 4 or 5 is what I meant. So, and then we find out it's Lloyd's B-Day. Everybody's busting his balls, and he looks 85. They ask him if he has a kid.
70? Do I look 70? I mean, yeah.
And of course, the barrel racer is back, so we know it's never a good thing. The freaking barrel racers.
No, what I did like, though, is that, Laramie was very, obviously there was a relationship between Laramie and Lloyd. And I don't really even want to call it a relationship because nothing really ever happened.
It was just a fun time.
But, Laramie caused Walker and Lloyd to get at it. Right? And now Laramie, was very sincere, and I think Lloyd's kind of moved beyond that. And I do like his line. He's like, obviously we see Laramie for the first time in the shower with Walker. When Laramie says happy birthday and hope it's a great day. And, Lloyd, I love Lloyd's line. He's like, if my day ends the way yours began, it'll be all right.
Yeah, and then we flip over, and like Rip comes in, he tells him happy birthday, and we flip over, and Carter, he's becoming more trusted as like a hand, basically. Yeah,
he's no longer just the stall cleaner. He's starting to become a ranch hand, and obviously Rip wants to develop him into a ranch hand. And I love what he said about, orphans. They're never like cast off. There's a place for orphans on the ranch.
Yeah, because he's feeding the baby calf, and he's like, are we gonna get rid of this one? He goes, no, it's an orphan. And then, like you said, whole orphan thing, which is a good. Rip has a lot of good one-liners in this episode, which he always does. Then, of course, as they're saddling up for the day, we talked about this last episode or last week, whichever you want to call it. The Fish and Wildlife Sheriff show up. And, of course, they're going to show up. You can't just oh, hey, you killed an endangered species. And they find the collar and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so basically they tell Rip, we're here, some wolves were on your ranch. And Rip's like, oh, it sounds like poachers. And he's like, well, the collars were tied to a log. We found it in the water. We're still trying to find the bodies. And no, Rip and his boys hit the bodies, put the tags on the logs, and tossed them in the river. Were they in the actual Yellowstone National Park? I take it when they did that.
I think they went to the park and tossed them, or they went to the river, way downriver, to try to get it as far away from the original quote unquote crime scene.
Yeah,
I haven't really figured that one out, but I have a feeling that the entire ranch is north of Yellowstone Park, or northeast or east. It can't be south because then you're into Wyoming.
Yeah, because they would have had to gone quite a distance. You're not going to do it close by, obviously. You're going to want to go probably 10, 15 miles, I would say, which on a horse would be rough.
Easy.
Not for me. I'm not a country boy. I'm just a simpleton city boy. And then we go over and we see Casey's at his house with his wife Monica and Mo and Rainwater there, and they're talking about the Indian funeral, and then like there's like the horse metaphor, and basically Monica, as you can tell, obviously is not coping well with the loss of her child, as any mother or and father would be, expected, something like that terrible happens. Again, even going back to last episode, like that happens. It's just like Tyler Sheridan was just like, is it Tyler Taylor? I was
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan, sorry. He was like, hey, oh, everyone's gonna be happy and fun. Boom, baby's dead. It's just like, oh, you can't do that, but he did.
Yeah, I think he for seeing what he's done with this entire series, Taylor Sheridan is a complete mastermind. He knows he's already 10 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
He already has an idea what he's going to do. He knows what the finale is going to be. He just has this vision in his head, and he works, and he doesn't hold back with absolutely anything. Nothing is, everything is fair game. It doesn't matter. I'm shocked we haven't killed off a main character by this point.
We kind of did in the very first episode, which was, and that's another thing, like the very first episode of the show, obviously you're watching this, you know what happens. Like Lee gets killed off in the very first episode.
I'm talking about this season.
I know, I'm just talking like overall, like you instantly, you have that first, like that gun punch in that first episode, which a lot of shows don't do. Like you don't do that. And then of course, and it's just like, I appreciate that as a show watcher because like that is life.
Mm-hmm.
Shitty things happen all the time for no reason at all. It's part of life. It's terrible, and like I appreciate he's trying to show that even families as rich and well off as the Duttons have everyday problems. Have everyday, like you said, that's the perfect way to put it. And like I said, me as a show watcher, I appreciate that because that's life. Not everything's rainbows and sunshine 24/7, no matter how much or how little money you have. Everybody has shit problems. So I love that he's like not holding back, and he's like, I'm going to throw some shit at you and see how you can handle it, basically. And I appreciate that as a show watcher. That's what drew me in. It's like you said, nothing's off limits. So that's what kind of drew me in instantly. He's kind of throwing shit on everybody.
Yep.
On every character has something.
Mm-hmm. And I think he does a really good job at getting the backstory in. Obviously you're going to get a deep backstory for John, Beth, Jamie, Casey, the main Dutton family. Mm-hmm. But then you also get a backstory for Rip. You get a backstory for the ranch hands. You get a backstory for literally every single person. Not to a big degree sometimes, but you understand, and it kind of just makes you say, oh, I understand them a little bit better. And you almost fall in love with them, I remember I was like, oh, who cares? You have Ryan, right? Okay, whatever. Ryan's just a ranch hand. Jake, but like then all of a sudden you're like, you learn a little bit something about him. And you're like, I actually like them a little bit more.
Because he gives you just a little bit, and then you're away. He comes back, you get a little bit from somebody else, then he takes it away. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, and I love that. It's like you don't want to give away too much because then it loses the intensity, the dramaticness of the
and like
show.
Teeter, I wasn't like a huge fan of Teeter when she showed up because I'm like, okay, are they going to do the stereotypical woke thing of, oh, we have to have a female as a ranch hand, and then I'm like, this is Taylor Sheridan who we're talking about. Like, there's no woke with Taylor Sheridan, and
she's a badass bitch. Dude, she's a bad bitch, and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Perfect,
because she's one of the guys. She don't take no shit, and she can dish it out too.
When she got trampled in the river,
and
everything. And I love her line. The thing that made me actually really like her is when she was talking to was it Colby?
Yeah.
In the river, right, and finds her, and they're literally all naked because they're skin dipping or whatever. And she's like, "You should have fucked me while I still had a face. It's all right, baby. We'll work on your time." Man. I'm like, oh my god, what a great one!
And that was an intense scene too, man. Last season, I was, and so. What were we talking about? Monica, yeah. So basically, Monica's not dealing well, and what it said, Rainwater and Mo are there. I love Mo. I think Mo's character is awesome too. I really like his character.
Mo's genuine.
Yeah. And so basically, they're trying to like help Casey and Monica plan like the Indian funeral, like the tribal stuff, like the proper procedures and everything. And it almost seems like Monica doesn't want to do that. She just wants like a basic service funeral just to kind of have it done with. Is almost what it seems like.
You know what? I
or maybe I read it wrong. I mean, that's
I disagree with you on that, but I hope they kill Monica off this season. I do. I can't stand Monica. She plays this victim of everything's wrong and the world hates me. Like, it's nothing. You literally married into one of the most powerful families. You have a cushy, cozy life. Like, everything you want is available to you. And I'm the victim, and this happened to us, our people, hundreds of, like, stop. Just stop. I do feel sorry that, she lost her unborn, well, technically born baby, premature baby. But, like, that entire situation sucks. But I wish she would just stop bitching.
I do think I'm with you. I think somebody doesn't make it through this season.
I hope it's her.
And then she
Sorry.
And then she and then she goes inside, kind of has like a breakdown, like cuts off her long Indian hair.
She's having a mental breakdown. Any female that has a mental breakdown will cut their hair, do something to their hair, they'll dye their hair, they'll cut their hair, they'll redo their, like, it's something about it's women and their hair.
Yeah, guys have their things too. We just drink.
Well, at least we wake up again feeling the same. Like, nothing changes. We just drink.
Yeah. Well, we feel like shit in the morning usually.
Maybe. But then, the next day, like, you're back to your normal self.
Yeah.
These women, man.
Whew. Okay. I'm a woman audience, so let's bump the brakes. And so we flip over. Jamie's walking into his job, and of course, what are the name?
Markwood Equities.
Markwood Equities is there with Sarah. I call her the battle axe. I've deemed her the battle axe. So
I like it.
So if you hear me say battle axe, we're talking about Sarah. She's their killer. She's their Beth.
Yes, she's their Beth.
She's their Beth. She's there to manipulate, find holes, attack, slice, kill, make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, she's there with the other guy, and we find out that basically they're just manipulating. There's the word. Manipulating?
Yes.
There we go. We got it. Third try. Jamie. And basically, that he's the weak link in the family, so they're going to go after him. And basically, the one guy plays the angry person, the other one plays
the good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, bingo. And then her dress.
Her dress.
And so you can
shout out
like
to the costume.
There's so many badass chicks in this show. It's so good to see, like, these powerful chicks who can handle, like, these rough and tough cowboys. Are like, I don't really give a shit about that. Like, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna break you, and then I'm gonna leave. Basically, I'm gonna break your soul.
If you're gonna be man enough to stare, at least own up to it.
Yeah, like that was a great line. And then of course we sit over, when we flip over, and Mo's driving rainwater to the casino, and all of a sudden there's all these Indians protesting outside. So there's nobody inside. Mm-hmm. And we find out they were mad about, like, the jobs, because, like, I can't remember, is the casino on the reservation or off the reservation?
It's on.
So they're protesting about, like, the money he's making.
Rainwater's promised this and promised that, but it's never delivered. And you can tell that Rainwater can sense we have an issue.
And of course, we get inside, and who's waiting for him inside?
The devil.
And you can kind of break that down for the people.
No, I can't. You know what?
No, what happens?
Dude, I don't even remember. I hate her so much. I'd rather the devil be killed off than Monica.
Oh, he's backtracking.
I want them both dead, actually. Just kill them both off. It'll save the whole show.
So basically, the Indian lady, he calls it the devil. We'll stick with that. She basically tells Rainwater, basically, like, you're out. Like, I'm gonna run you out of town, basically, because you're making promises and you're not keeping them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, we know that's going to cause issues in the tribal community. We'll call it that.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Yeah. On the Reds.
You don't have to call it that, because that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be, And of course, we flip over. Rip is leading the marshals. Well, he's told he needs to lead the
game wardens.
The game wardens out of the trail. You kind of break that down for everybody.
Yeah. So obviously they come to the ranch, and they pretty much force Rip to go out on this ride with them to track these wolf GPS collars. And they get to this field where the wolves were shot, and the entire field's been plowed. And it's very rare to have a random field miles and miles away from your own ranch be plowed. And he's like, why is this plowed? It's like, oh, we're going to be growing, barley or something like that.
Yeah, he said they're growing something. He's made up something.
And which honestly makes sense because it's probably about winter time at this point for all the winter barley. And but the game and wildlife people are just like, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And they're like, it's right here. They stopped right here. And he's like, well, I don't think so. He goes, well, I can tell you. He goes, oh, okay, trust the computer or whatever, whatever. And I say, it's going off this way. And Rip's like, well, this is where I leave you. And they're like, oh, he goes, that mountain right there has killed plenty of cowboys before, and you guys ain't cowboys. So that kind of spooks the game wardens to say, oh, we're not capable of riding, and as well as someone else. And so they decide, okay, we'll just take the chopper and fly around and see what we can see from the air instead of down on the ground. It's a good thing.
That's basically what Rip wants them to do too.
Rip wants them in the air, absolutely, because if you stay on the ground, you finally get to this little scene. And honestly, the first time I watched it, I couldn't see what it was, so I had to go back and rewatch it again. It's a hoof print. And that's so significant because if the path of these wolves is littered with horse prints, something's up.
Mm-hmm.
Something's fishy. Something happened. So it's a good thing that Rip led them away. I'm actually really curious to see what happens in the end with this. But I'm thinking that this killing is going to get blamed on people with market equities.
Ooh, that could be a nice little twist.
I think that's what's going to happen.
So we find out, and then after this scene, we finally find out what Beth's up to. Basically, she's in Salt Lake City, Utah, to basically make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
To sell her shares of Schwartz and Myers. So basically, she's selling her shares, but she's keeping the land. And so basically, by doing this, she's fucking over Market Equities.
Because she's going to sell to Market Equities' biggest competitor.
And which means they can't come back and sue for the land rights and all that, basically like federal court. So basically, she's going to make a crap load of money, make them a crap load of money, and screw over her and their biggest clients, are going to make a lot of money, screw over Market Equities. Basically, she's just trying to put the nail in the coffin of Market Equities. Mm-hmm. Is basically what she's doing.
Yep.
And so we see that Caroline, she gets sent back to New York City,
mm-hmm.
and basically tells the battle axe has no role. Sarah, the gloves are off. So it's gonna be interesting next episode to see what kind of moves that Sarah uses to try and get under Jamie's skin to get him to trip up.
Oh, they're definitely going to dinner. They're going out.
Yeah, so they're going to dinner, and I just have a feeling Jamie's gonna do something to fuck his family over, and that's good. My vote is still Jamie doesn't make it through the season. That's my vote. I think his own father has to take him out because he screwed over the family so bad.
Takes him out,
takes him to the train station.
Train station, okay.
That's my theory. I think Jamie's gonna fuck over his family, and then I'm saying either John or Beth train stations them. My money's on John, but it wouldn't surprise me with Beth because she's a crazy person. It could happen because she does own him with the video camera. Imagine if Beth shot him at the train station, and all of a sudden Jane's gone. But then that creates you have a missing Dutton, which creates an even bigger problem for season 6. Just saying, you call me if you guys need ideas.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan, if you're watching,
I'm just
we
saying.
Want to be in the show.
I'm just saying.
We'll do anything. We'll be in a bar fight.
Yeah, I'm small. You can throw me around.
I'll throw him.
Whee! And what else we got? Oh, Beth decides she gets excited, so she takes all the cowboys, all the bunkhouses going to the bar, which is a terrible idea, as we've seen from the past 4 seasons.
And what they say, go into Bozeman. We're going to go to a cowboy bar. And there are no cowboy bars, and you can't put real cowboys in a bar full of fake cowboys.
And tourists.
I love what Rip's like, Beth, we're not going. I said no. No, we're not going. No. So anyways, there they are at the bar.
They're drinking, everybody's dancing, having a good time. And
we see Lady
Wilson. Yes, I
Wilson.
forgot to bring that up. So I would like you to reveal your theory now that Lainey Wilson has seen Travis again for the second time. So if you like,
Ryan.
Ryan, I was called Travis. I don't know why.
Travis is Taylor Sheridan.
That's why. Would you like to reveal your theory, or you want to hold on to it?
So no, I want my theory. So, Lainey Wilson and Hardy did the song "Wait in the Truck," right? So I have a feeling that Lainey Wilson, I think her name's Abby, is, she probably has this dark past where she was abused or something along those lines. So I have a feeling that the whole "Wait in the Truck" song is going to come to come to life or whatever. And Ryan is going to go have to, Lainey Wilson's or Abby, whatever, is going to show up one day, bruised, battered, bloody, the whole 9 yards. And Ryan is going to go, in her defense, go take out this dude and sacrifice, his future for her. But
could you imagine
if
all of our theories come true? Beth kills Jamie. Ryan kills this random a-hole.
Monica and the devil die.
I mean, dude, it would be a hell of an explosive finale if that all happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think the last scene should be Beth cocking the gun with Jamie, and the shot should be Jamie looking at me. Here's the gun cocking, his eyes get real big, and it fades to black, and you hear the trigger go boom, and you just hear the body drop, but you don't know who it is. You just know it's just insinuated. And then you have the music pans out. I'll tell you, you guys need ideas.
To end season 5.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
We're at the train station.
Mm-hmm.
Guns cocked. You see Jamie. Then it zooms back. It does the fade out where Jamie's face is kind of not focused, and it's just Beth going, "You cocksucker," or something like that. And then
you needle dick.
And you hear the gun cock, and then all of a sudden, you hear you could even do it where Rip rolls up because he finds out about it. You hear the tires come rolling up the street. He's yelling Beth, and you hear the gun go off. Did she shoot him? Did she not shoot him? You don't know, and you have to wait till season 6. There's 3 or 4 different ways you could do that.
I am excited for the cliffhanger because season 4 did not end with a cliffhanger. Season 3 ended with a cliffhanger.
Oh my god, that was so insane.
This season has to end on a cliffhanger. Has to.
Oh, it has to.
I'll be upset if it doesn't.
So, we're at the bar. Rip's having a good time. Beth's having a good time. And
Beth and Peter out on the dance floor dancing with each other. And all of a sudden, this random woman shows up and starts talking to Rip, putting her hands all on him. Rip knows that's not a good idea. And, woman's like, "Oh, aren't you a tall drink of water? I'm married." "Mm-hmm. So am I." "Where's your husband?" "Sacramento." "Where's your wife?" "Right there."
The one staring at you.
Mm-hmm. "Oh, I'll go handle this." Nope, please don't. It's bad idea.
And then Rip says instantly, "Lloyd, the night's
Lloyd,
we're done."
Not even midnight.
And then, of course, Beth does what Beth's going to do, and
smashes a bottle right over that woman's head, and it is on. Second best bar fight they've ever had. Best bar fight they ever had was when Yellowstone was at the bar, and the Yellowstone boys got their asses whooped. Came back. Rip found out they all got their asses beat. Put them back in the truck. They backed the stock trailer up to the door. opened the
And
doors,
let a
let
bull
the
in.
bull into the bar, caused mayhem. And then they beat the shit out of every single person that came out of the bar. Yeah, it was the best. That was the
Well, because then
best.
the guys go down there because Jamie got jumped. Not Jamie, but
They all got jumped.
what's his name? Oh my God, the guy just left last season. He went to Texas. I'm blanking on his name. Jimmy, yeah, because Jimmy got in the fight when he was on the date.
Yeah, Jimmy's like, oh, hey, no, we're just talking. Oh, I didn't ask. Yeah, that's the fight. That's the best bar fight they had. What's a Yellowstone season without a bar fight, though?
Yeah. So basically, they're all outside. They're trying to get arrested. There's a new sheriff in town. He's trying to be a hard ass.
Oh, but before that new sheriff shows up.
What's the girl in the dress name? Oh, that's Nick. That's Stoll. What up, Stoll?
What up, bro?
Her name is Sarah. You can look her up. Look up Sarah Yellowstone season 5.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the sheriff's got a hard on for these guys, and basically tell them like,
"You're gonna arrest everyone.
You're gonna arrest the whole damn bar." And basically, the girl presses charges on Beth. So the episode ends with Beth in the back of a cop car flicking off this chick.
Mm-hmm. But before the sheriff came, Beth, they're all standing outside. Beth, she was smoking a cigarette or whatever, came over and sucker punched her again. And I loved that part. It was like, you don't fuck with Duttons. You don't fuck with my husband.
Yeah. So that was a little cliffhanger for that, but it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes from here. So, but yeah, that's the episode right there, man.
Yeah.
So
I think they're just it's just gonna ramp up from here on out.
Yeah.
Every single episode, and think about it. Every other season starts off the first 3 to 4 episodes build the season, and it just takes off. I think we're already there. It's just gonna take off like a rocket.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to because we got we had 7 more left.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 7.
5 seasons. Hell yeah, it's a great show, Nick. You need to watch it. You need to watch it, Nick. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. You got anything else you want to tell people? Or are we good?
I think we're good. Try to do this again next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have time. You always have time. Find the time, son.
Dude.
You got a 4-day weekend coming up. You got time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, Nick. We're signing off, my guy.
Later, bro.
And as always, I hope you've enjoyed your slice of pie.